Hello again, everybody. Welcome to the Backbone Podcast, where common sense still makes sense in a world that is sick and only getting sicker. This is going to be take two. I screwed up on the first broadcast here, and tonight we're going to talk about the lovely lady that is to my is that left, yeah, right, whatever you want to call it. Miss Camille Waite, I think her name is. She's a social media influencer, and of course, she has to bloviate her private life on here because everyone is so interested and she's so interesting. This is the face right here, gentlemen. If you're in your 20s or 30s and you're thinking of getting married and you're getting baby fever and you want to put yourself in 30 years of debt buying that home and 2 cars and going on vacations, and there's this beautiful face looking at you, watch this video because this could be your future. You know, when Satan comes at you, he doesn't come at you with horns and wings and looking like a demonic demon. He comes at you looking like this. This is what he's coming at you with. The pretty face, the nice hair, maybe a cute little body, knows how to shake her ass once in a while. This is the face of Satan right here. Women carry hell within them. This is hell coming at you, and that's going to ruin your life. Now, I haven't watched the whole video. I've just heard about this. Now, this happened a couple of weeks ago. But supposedly, this is the woman who says that she's married to the perfect husband, but she still must divorce him. Think about that. Think about that. She is going on TikTok and telling, I don't know how many followers she has or whatever she's got, but she's telling all of these people, these strangers, that she wants to divorce her husband because he's too good to her. This is the face of hell. And I get guys who tell me all the time, my wife is different, my girl is different. They're all the same. They're all the same. Our mothers were the same, but it was different because things were different. But today, because of no-fault divorces and the height of feminism, this is what you're looking at here. This is why women initiate almost 80% of divorces, and they're almost 55, 60% of divorces in this country right here. Let's see what Camille has to say. And her TikTok handle is kind of it's not an accident. Chaos with Camille. Oh geez, here she goes.
Know if I'm going to actually post this because this is super vulnerable for me and I'm a pretty open person. But earlier,
just said she's not sure she's going to post this. It's too personal, but she goes on and posts it anyway.
This year, I told my husband I wanted a divorce. And this would probably shock a lot of my friends and my family because I hadn't told anybody, okay? I walked myself through the logistics of where would I live, how.
So she hasn't told her mom, she hasn't told her dad, she hasn't told her sister or cousins or anybody else. First of all, that is absolute nonsense. I'll tell you who she's told. She's told that sick cabal of girlfriends that she has who are probably 32 years old and single, just like she's going to be, who keeps telling her that she's too pretty to be settling down. You're too young. You can have any man you want. And dollars to donuts, she's already banging somebody. But anyway, let's let Camille go on.
How would we split the time with the kids? Who gets the dog? Where all of those things, okay?
So, gentlemen, what they do is they've already worked it out. She talked to her husband, mentioned divorce to her husband already, but she's already worked out the logistics of how they're going to, how she's going to proceed in the divorce of splitting everything up. So she's been thinking about this, not at the beginning of the year. She's been thinking about this forever. This is the reason why, and I'll tell you, I like to date married women. I try not to, but it just happens. This is typical. They don't. This isn't. She didn't wake up one day feeling this way. She's with somebody else Guaranteed. Almost guaranteed. I can tell. And she is already laying the foundations, the groundwork of how she's going to take half of everything. Half of what he's probably built. He's probably the breadwinner. He's probably bought the house. She's in the SUV with the fucking baby seats in the back. She doesn't look like she's hard up for anything. But she's going to get half. She'll get half. All because he's too good to her. And that's his fault. John Agnelli once said, the famous CEO, Playboy, banged thousands of women. He said that you treat a tart like a lady, but you treat a lady like a tart. And that is so true. They are dumb. They're retarded. If you treat a woman good, she'll walk away from you. You treat her like trash, you treat her like dirt, they will love you forever. Ask any woman who is a domestic violence victim. I know that sounds like an asshole thing to say, but ask them, how did you become a domestic violence victim? If you get hit once and you leave, you're not a DV considered, at least not in New York. But they stay. They love to be abused, whether it's physically abused or mentally abused. It's a horrible thing to say. I know it. I worked with people like that down here since I moved down here from New York. And the first question I always ask is, why'd you stay? Well, I loved him. And he loved me. Oh, dumbasses. This thing is riling me up. We should have done a shooting today.
Had a full breakdown.
Let's go back.
Okay. Had a full breakdown. I feel like I have been searching for something in my relationship that we don't have for the whole time we've been married, which has been 10 years. There is not a...
Notice how she keeps saying I, me. It's never us, we're, my family. It's always I, me. It's only what she wants. She's the only person in this universe, in her universe, that matters. She doesn't give a shit about her kids. She doesn't give a shit about her husband. She doesn't give a shit about anybody else but her. That is your modern, well, it's not even a modern woman. I'll tell you, we'll talk about that later. But this is the woman of today.
A single thing about my husband in and of himself that I do not love. Let me be very clear about that. He is the most self-disciplined, loyal, hardworking, good person that you could meet on this planet. And that is probably the reason why I have not left. Okay.
The reason why she hasn't left is because she hasn't found her own way of making her own money. That's the reason why she's there. She's still there. And when she finds her own way, if she gets her own job, if she has her own business, whatever, which he's probably financing, then she'll leave. But right now, he's the breadwinner, I'm assuming. And she is going to stick around until she can get her own place. She gets her own check every 2 weeks. Then she'll divorce him and take half of his money, and then child support, alimony, all that stuff. She'll be living large, banging some other guy.
Our relationship and what my expectations are for my marriage and what they always have been are not met, right? Which I don't know if anybody's are.
So he's self-disciplined, he's hardworking, he's a wonderful guy, but he hasn't met her expectations. What are the expectations that she has? What could this guy possibly, what more could this guy possibly give this woman? This is the reason why. And I hate to say this because I have daughters, but this is the reason why women deserve the horror that is approaching them. I think she says she's 32. She will go through the next 15 to 20 years of getting run through by guys who could give two shits about her. And she's going to deserve every bit of the frustration and the anger. And then when that wall comes, and baby, the wall is coming soon, that's when the divorce remorse happens. All right, let me stop interrupting.
The reason that pushed me to even bring up divorce and talk about it was the fact that I feel like I can't be myself with my husband. And it's really confusing because I'm 32 years old. I am a mom of 3, and I still don't know who I am. So for me to be like, oh, I can't be myself, or you don't love me for who I am, isn't really fair because.
So she's 32 years old. She has 3 children, and she's married. She started the right way. She started off very, very hot. 22, married, has kids the right way. And she married a good guy that is providing for her and that is leading her. And that is the other issue. That's the other issue. I don't. Again, we're going to keep going with this. This is a 5-minute clip. I don't know if we're going to do the whole thing, but because I'm getting riled up with this. But that's the other issue here. Is he? What is he doing that is making her feel this way? Is he too stringent? Is he too? It doesn't sound like it is. I think he's more of an easygoing guy he's probably just a donkey. He probably just works his ass off. And this bitch is just bored. But again, me. It's always about her. It's always about them. They could give 2 shits about you.
Be myself with my husband. And it's really confusing because I'm 32 years old. I am a mom of 3, and I still don't know who I am. So for me to be like.
So she doesn't know who she is. She doesn't realize, and women don't realize this, is that this guy marries her at 22, and he gives her the greatest job a woman can ever ask for. He gives her the greatest title that a woman can ask for. And no, it's not queen or princess or any of that other bullshit. It's mother. It's wife. It's the greatest thing that can happen to a girl. They used to dream about it when they were kids. Now feminism has destroyed that. But it's not good enough. Her husband's not good enough for her. Her children are not good enough for her. And that's what she's saying. She can't find herself. She doesn't know who she is. She just tossed the whole, well, I'm a mother of 3. Like it means nothing. Her father failed her.
Like, oh, I can't be myself, or you don't love me for who I am, isn't really fair because I don't know who I am. I'm figuring that out every day. But the reason why I wanted to share this on here in the first place is we are coming up on our 10-year anniversary. We're going to Mexico, to Cabo, for our 10-year anniversary trip. And we're rewriting our vows. We never wrote vows in the first place. We didn't have vows.
So she's making this sound, this trip to Cabo San Lucas, like it's like she's going to get root canal. Look at how entitled and spoiled this bitch is. I'm telling you, I can't get through the whole thing with this broad.
Vows when we got married. And I'm struggling to write my vows, like to write a vow. And I think that's because I still feel very unsure in our relationship. The one thing that we finally talked about this past week together, because it's just been something that since we kind of talked about it and I brought it up and we committed to change and we committed to working on our relationship. I started my own business. He quit his job. Roles have changed.
Oh, there we are. There we go. She forces him to commit to change so she can form her own business. He quits his job. Roles are reversed. Now he's mom. She's dad. He's woman. She's man. Now we figured it out. This is the reason why she wants to leave. And you know what? In the beginning, this is all her doing, but he was too weak of a man to handle this. She's forming her own business with his money, guaranteed. Now he has to quit his job. He has to go through a total role reverse, which is not natural, right? Men are not supposed to do this. He will be miserable, and she will start her own business. She will make her own money. And the minute she gets some coin saved up, she is bolting gone. And I'm telling you, she's already banging somebody else. The roles have this. All right. Now we got down to the. Now we know what happened.
Life has been crazy, and we just haven't come back to talking about the subject. And I brought it up again because I'm like, I'm going to be honest with you, like writing these vows is hard. I don't feel like we're any closer. I don't feel like anything has really changed since I brought this up 6 months ago, 9 months ago, whatever. And I want to work on our relationship. Like at the end of the day, of course.
She's calling her marriage a relationship. That's a problem for me too. You know, I was talking to these girls this weekend, and they both have boyfriends, and they didn't refer to them as their men, their boyfriends, or whoever. They referred to them as their partners. That's a massive red flag for me. If your girl refers to you as a partner, bolt. I don't care how great that ass, how sweet that ass is. Get out of there, because you're looking at this right here.
Of course, I could get a divorce and try to go find the love that I'm craving with somebody else.
There you are again. So she's looking for love that she's craving. So she's being so neglected. You know, this is, so her husband isn't good enough for her. Her children aren't good enough for her because she's not being loved at home. The poor thing is like Snow White. You know, she's being worked to the bone by the seven dwarves. They're never happy. And now that they have the law and society, social norms on their side, this is the norm now. And I implore you, if you're a 25, 27, 30-year-old guy, and you have anything remotely like this in your life, you cannot ruin your life for this. And don't bring children into the world, because her children are going to be ruined by this. They're going to see a revolving door in her bedroom of different guys coming in and out. Trust me, for the next 15 to 20 years.
But that's going to come with its own hardships, its own complications, and ones that I'm not willing to take on, right? I love Ryan. He is the best father, okay? I just need to learn how to explain what I need from him in our relationship, and he needs to be able to give that, and I need to be doing the same for him, so that we can both, like, in 10 years from now, in the next 10 years, look back and say, like, we put in the work and we finally have the marriage and the relationship that we have always wanted. And
now she keeps saying I, but then when she says we are going to put in the work, when apparently it's not, nothing is her fault, it's his fault, and we are going to save our marriage. You've already decided you wanted to get a divorce, and you're not saving your marriage by reversing the roles of nature. You're not going to see, you're emasculating this guy, and he's trying to appease you by saying, okay, honey, let's work on changes. Let's change it up. You start your own business. I'll stay home with the kids. This is a disaster. It's already over. It's already over. Gentlemen, do not ever give up your masculinity. This guy doesn't have a backbone. This guy needs to sit and talk to me, because he just allowed this broad to run roughshod over him. He doesn't have common sense. He probably doesn't have a strong father figure, and he might have friends that are probably in the same situation, or maybe they're just weak guys too. I mean, look, I hate to say this, but if you're between the ages of 18 and 35, your masculinity isn't something that a lot of you are specializing in now. Most of the guys that are in my age group, the Gen Xers, half of them were very strong. I was. My ex-wife wanted to run roughshod over me, try to destroy me. And I beat her in every turn. But this guy tried to appease this woman by doing exactly what she wanted. And she's still not happy.
That is what I want.
What she wants.
I guess the reason why I'm coming on here, and if you've made it this long, that's really nice. What have you done in your relationship to get to that point? If you have been in a place where we are and have worked through it and have found things that have brought you closer or that have given you that relationship.
But she hasn't told me anything that he's done wrong. She hasn't told me anything that is remotely divorce worthy. Everything is on her. I can't, I want, I need, I, me. Nothing. The husband has done nothing wrong except the role reverse thing. So what is the reason to get divorced? Because you don't feel loved? You have this craving of love? Let me tell you something, baby. Out in those streets, you are going to meet guys who are just going to see you as bait. And you'll meet plenty of guys. And they'll bang you and they'll take you out and they'll drain you, you'll feed you drinks and they'll shove a burger down your throat and then they'll bang you a few times, maybe 6 months to a year, and then they'll go away. And then you'll go on social media and meet some other guy over the internet and he'll do the same thing. It's the same carousel ride over and over and over again. And then you'll wake up one day and be 47 and no one's going to want you anymore. And she doesn't realize this because she's still 32 is pushing it now, but she's still got her looks and guys are still looking at her and guys are going to bang her. I mean, listen, you see her at a bar, you're going to tap that. And she knows it. And I guarantee you she's got about 5 or 6 friends that are telling her, egging her on, you're beautiful, you're this, you're that. If you're not feeling it, you need to get out now. You're still young. Women suck.
Like, I'm just, I guess, asking for advice. Like, what have you done in order to get there and what has worked for you? We're honestly willing to try anything. We have done therapy and counseling before. And it was fine, honestly. It wasn't like my favorite thing, but I'm willing to try that again. And I don't know, books, podcasts, like what have you guys done that has worked for you to get your marriage to where you want it to be? I just don't like thinking, okay, we've been married for 10 years and we've kind of like been at this same point the whole time. I just don't want to look back 10 years from now and not have tried my best to have this like relationship that we both want and that we deserve and that our kids deserve to see in us. So
that's the second time Schmitz and
I'm kind of being vulnerable and posting this on here, but I would just like to know like what has worked for you and what advice I guess you would have.
Okay, well, the first bit of advice I would give to her husband is I would go to your local Dick's Sporting Goods, find the best pair of running shoes you can find, tie them up really tight, grab those kids and run. Because this woman is evil and she will destroy the children. Single mothers destroy children. and she is going to destroy them because they can't give her the love she wants. She said it right in the video. I need to find the love that I'm craving outside of the home because the husband and the kids can't give it to me. That right there, my friends, that right there is the face of Satan. Satan is always busy, and he's busy in her. And if you look at her page, she says she's one with God. She has no clue who God is. None. You're going to counseling. You're reading books on marriage. Let me tell you, you have no clue. You are not anywhere near close to God. Because if you were close to God, you would have asked your husband to switch roles and emasculate him in front of his children. If you knew what the natural order of things was, God, Jesus, man, wife, children, you would be satisfied with that. There's the love right there. God gave you the love 4 times. He gave it to you with a solid man and 3 beautiful children. But that's still not good enough. So the guy is a good provider. He gets you a house. He gets you a car. He gets you clothes. He's taking you to Cabo San Lucas. And it's still not good enough. So what's this guy supposed to do? What is any man supposed to do? Well, the problem is that the guy is giving her everything she wants. And when women are not in chase mentality, women are attracted to guys that they chase. They lose interest and they get bored. And she's out there chasing somebody. There's a guy out there she's chasing because he makes her feel good. He's naughty, pulls her hair when he bangs her from behind. This guy, her husband, Ryan, has already given up the leverage. And when a man gives up the leverage to a woman, it's over. Because women never give up the leverage unless it's with a stranger. And this is why, gentlemen, you must always keep yourself available, even if you're not screwing around on the side. If you have a girl that you like, you always have to make it seem like she's not the only option, that she's just the available option at the moment. But I can get Sarah down the block, or I can get Lucy around the corner, right? Or you could do what I did for many years, and that's spin plates. That's even better. But you got to live in a big city to get away with that. But unfortunately, this is not a modern thing. It's been enhanced because of social norms and feminism. But if you read the Bible, every woman in the Bible, almost every woman in the Bible, has destroyed an empire or a kingdom or fucked up somehow. I mean, you don't have to go any further than the story of Adam and Eve. God gave Eve everything. Paradise on earth, eternal life. She'll never grow old. She can have children without bearing any pain. They would live in paradise. All she had to do was not bite the forbidden fruit, and she disobeyed God. You're not going to tell me what to do. I'm an independent woman. The ancients knew this. And that's why they kept such strong restrictions on women's freedom. I'm not saying that I'm not trying to say we should have women in burqas, no. But back in the day when a man's word was law, things were working out pretty fine. This was the story of Adam and Eve. countless stories that we've read in fairy tales. Read the real version of fairy tales and see how evil women are. These were all warnings. If you give a woman an inch, she wants a yard. You give her a yard, she'll take a mile. And now women want everything. And and when they have everything, it's still not good enough. And what this guy fell into the trap was, he fell into the trap of being her emotional puppet. If you become her emotional puppet, she will never love you. She will never care for you. She won't respect you. If you are detached from her, if you don't call her every day, if you don't take her out all the time, if you show you have independence and that you really don't need her company, that her company is just like a side hustle, she'll love you forever. She'll love you forever. And the reason for that is because women aren't bright. Women are emotional beings, so they love what they can't have. And that's why they love assholes. And the thing that drives me crazy about this is, here she goes. What women do all the time. They go on social media looking for validation. Oh, this is very vulnerable. I don't know if I'm going to air this. And then 5 minutes of her talking about what she wants, what she needs, what she's not getting at home, that her children and husband are not loving her enough. So she has to look for it from a stranger out in, the bar down the block. That's where we are. That's how come women should have never have been given any sort of leverage whatsoever in society. And until the laws change, and until societal norms change, until no-fault divorces are gone, and until feminism has finally been eradicated and destroyed and out of schools and television and books, this will continue at the peril of humanity. Because that woman is poisoned by the devil. She just is. And no-fault divorce, feminism is part of the devil. No-fault divorce is part of what it was influenced by feminism. That's the devil. That's Satan working right there. She can get up in the morning and say she wants a divorce, and she gave no reason for one. She was spouting out for 5 minutes and gave no reason to divorce this man. He's done nothing wrong except for the whole, switching of the roles. But he probably did that out of desperation, because, as the old saying says, a man will sacrifice his happiness for the sake of his family, but a woman will sacrifice her family for the sake of her happiness. So he's doing anything he can to keep his family intact. He doesn't want to see his children on weekends. He wants to keep his home intact. Because when a man gets divorced, trust me, it hits you in the beginning because you feel that you failed. I felt that I failed. Then in the long run, you realize that you escaped hell. Because I escaped hell. Because the bottom line is this, gentlemen. Women are evil. You just saw, and you're looking at the face of a satanic demon right there. And there's the result of it. No-fault divorce and feminism has led to this. Ingrain that face into your head, gentlemen. Because that's what's coming after you. That's what you're going to have to deal with. And there's my 2 cents. All right. Well, thank you again for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. Be careful out there, my friends. Be careful out there. Satan is busy, busy, busy. Be a man. Don't be like Ryan. Have a backbone, because masculinity and common sense are worth standing up for. Anything that ends with an ism is a mental disorder. We'll see you later.